We are recording. I'm trying to think. First time I remembered you, Kuwahara National, plate 20, right?
That's right. Yeah.
84?
84, yeah.
84?
Yeah.
I think it's because I got everyone's seen the video. Paul, right?
Paul
National. You're in
yeah.
You're like in the with Stu Diggins and
Yeah,
obviously
that's right.
Darren Wood, Tom Lynch. So I think that's where I first kind of picked up on you. When did you actually start?
Stop racing?
Yeah. When did you start?
When did I start racing?
Yeah.
My first race was in 1981. I think it was 1981, but you might have to check, or someone might put me right. But my very first race was in Southampton at a national. That's my first race.
Oh, straight in the deep end.
Yeah, meant to race in novice, ended up going in expert, and I know that Stu Diggins was in my moto. I remember I get to the gate, and I'm at the gate ready to go, and the starter says, "Where's your helmet?"
Oh, you didn't have a helmet?
No, I didn't have a helmet.
Did you?
I did have a helmet. Yeah, it was a skateboard helmet.
Right.
So it was a bit really early days, and I mean I only ended up going to that national because of Scott Dick.
Right.
So obviously Scott Dick. Scott Dick was Scott Dick's friend was my mate's dad. So and we'd obviously got into BMX, and he said, "Oh, we're taking everyone to a national this weekend." So he brought all the boys from Westway and picked us up at Hayes on the way.
So that was like your local place where you rode?
Yeah, Westway was our local track. That was a good 20-minute drive into the city, into London.
Yeah.
Which we did used to ride to quite a bit ourselves when we got a bit older, along the Westway, which is quite good fun, as you can imagine, which is like the M40.
Yeah. You see on the videos, don't you? The few little videos of Westway, you see all the cars and that.
Yeah. Well, what a place. But yeah, so we went there. And it was the race that it was a national where they run out of time, so they put the cars up against the track,
right? Yeah.
And they put the headlights on. So that was my first race, and then sadly there'd been 81, I think it was 81, might have been 82, but then sadly someone stole my bike, so
great start.
I didn't have I think pretty much for the whole of 82 I didn't have a bike. So I was waiting for the insurance money to come in and pestering my mum and dad all the time. When's it coming in? We got it in the end, and my mum and dad got me a Diamondback Silver Streak.
That's a good bike. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I didn't realise at the time it had a steel back triangle. I don't know if everyone know that the Silver Streak was made with.
No.
It's a bit geekish, but other people would tell me there was probably ones that were made without a steel back triangle. But anyway, back ends. So that was that. Got my Diamondback, and then I think Hayes track, or Hillingdon as it was known, I think it probably started in 82, late 82, beginning of 83.
So did people go from Westway to Hillingdon when Hillingdon was bought?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, all my mates that were going to Westway, we would end up going to Hillingdon.
So do you remember Winnie and Errol and all them guys?
Yeah. So I mean, I was knew we were doing this today, and I was thinking, maybe what if Dad was going to ask me what my best ever race is or something? What's the most exciting race? What's the best race you've ever had?
Right.
And for me, it would have been at Hayes.
Yeah.
Even though we won loads of big races, and we used to have a trophy dash.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew what a trophy dash was, but it was an open class, wasn't it? 13 plus open class, and I would think I was 13 or 14 at the time.
And plus Hayes was a lot of good riders there, right?
Yeah. So I remember getting to the final in this race, and there was Ian Ruby, Jeff Bonwick, Frankie Romain, Errol. There's a guy called Freston that used to race at, I can't remember his surname, and they also come to our race because obviously they get on the train. It was really easy to get to.
Yeah.
And Frankie was winning the race to the last corner, and I overtook him.
Oh, right.
And I went underneath him.
And they were all probably 17 plus then as well.
Yeah, pretty much. And they're just thinking, who's this little skinny kid?
Yeah.
Coming from nowhere on this.
And you was on your Diamondback?
Yeah, dodgy little Diamondback. And I just remember just thinking, wow, this is, and it still makes me excited today to think about it.
I think Hayes was a great track. I only raced there a few times. Like I raced the 84 National, couple winter regionals later on down the road, but I just loved it because there was so many 180 turns.
Yeah.
He went low, I go high, you go high. There was so many moves there, wasn't there?
1, 2, 3, was there? Second, so the big first corner, and then the second corner, 180. Yeah, there was 4 180 corners.
I mean, see what you Dean Iddols obviously pull. That's why everybody was probably good track craft,
Yeah, definitely, and I think being part of that club was just amazing. Just we all would go to the track every night. I think it was only 5 minutes from home.
It's what Woody said, like you guys would race every night, right? Just like little fun races.
Yeah, all the time. So we used to have we used to call the berm to berm races, or jump to jump races, and I'd be organising them all the time. I'd be pestering everyone. Come on, let's race.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just wanted to race the older kids, the men, and other people in podcasts go on about, I had such respect for these people and blah blah blah. I mean, I had respect for people.
You want to beat them straight away, though.
I just want to beat them.
Yeah.
And possibly some of the reasons I would get injured and been injured so many times is the fact that I didn't like coming second, even in practice.
Right.
And I remember once when we got into racing pro, and I remember we started racing the pro series in '88. So Sid Salisbury, Craig, Andy, and all these people would either stand around my house before some of the races. And I remember Sid Salisbury saying to me one day, Lee, why'd you go so fast around the track?
Right.
The whole time.
Right.
The whole time. You're just going flat out all the time. You're just going to kill yourself, man.
Right.
So
I just want to beat you lot.
I just want to beat you lot. I just want to beat you lot.
Because you caught the end of those 80s, the guys that we all looked up to and stuff.
Yeah. So I got to race them all. Yeah, I got to race them all.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I raced Tim or not. I can't remember. But I raced them all. And I wasn't scared of them.
Right.
Bit of respect for them, but I just wanted to beat them.
Yeah.
I think especially Andy Ruffle as well.
Right.
He used to wind me up as a kid. So it wasn't as
Did
much
you
a
know
kid.
him? What did you know?
Yeah. So I mean, when I started riding for Scorpion, Andy had moved to Woodham, and then by the time I was leaving school, I ended up spending quite a lot of time at Jamie's house. A lot of time because we had a strength and conditioning coach, which was...
This is Jamie Vince, obviously.
Yeah. So it was someone that was an ex-Olympic swimmer that had his own gym, and Jamie was training with him all the time. And they said, when you leave school, come and live with me, and we can train together.
So obviously he put you on Scorpion then, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And I just remember Andy being at the track, and me being quite young at the time, 16, 17, and Andy and Craig, being with them was just a big piss take all the time. It was just having fun and taking the mickey out of a young kid who, I probably was a bit leery. So they used to take the mickey out of me, and I remember saying to him, one day I'm having you. I'm having you one day, I don't care, I'm having you. He'd be like, yeah, whatever. And then we used to take this 2-man start gate to the track at Woodham, and we used to practice with them, Craig and Andy and Jamie, and they used to, they'd annihilate me out the starts, and I just think, one day I'm going to do it, I'm going to beat these guys one day. And I think I did, I beat every single one of them one day. I do remember putting Andy over the corner at, I think it was the first corner at Derby, and just thinking, told you.
Right, yeah. That's good you got to race with them guys. See, I came in a little bit after that, after you, so I caught Jamie 1 or 2 times, and Ruffle had already gone by the time I got there, just Fleming, Geff and Damon Parkinson and yourself. Everybody else had gone really by then. Talk a little bit about those, maybe the couple of years before then. So Kuwahara National, what happened? Ivor J. Clark, was it or something?
Yeah. So it's so what happened?
Stu was probably holding you back from getting on Kuwahara Factory, right?
Yeah. Before we go, I've kept. I've got a magazine out this morning, and I'll show you before you go.
Yeah.
There's a picture of we'd have been obviously in the same age group on the same year. I was number 20. He was number 1, and you can see I'm on Kuwahara National, and you turn the page, you got Stiggins that looks pure factory, and then you got me. You put the 2 pages together, and you go
right.
So he's just the poor national rider.
But Stu, we've just been doing the Hall of Fame stuff. I've just been constantly flicking through magazines for the last 6 months, just pictures of people and just I love magazines and stuff, but I'm over looking at magazines because I've been doing so much for this research and stuff. But I still think, and I was saying the other day to the guys, Stu Diggins was the most factory looking guy in all the pictures, even more than the pros and everybody with them gold rims. And stuff, so
it was a cool dude as well. And a really nice guy.
He is.
Really, really, really nice guy. So anyway, it was actually Sam Wood, Darren's dad, that got me onto the national, the Kuwahara National squad. I think at the time they were riding for Stows. You had to have like a a shop that would get all the gear for you. So then you get a trade or whatever it was.
You had
at the
Stowe's
time.
on your plate, didn't you?
Yeah. So I went to Stowe's, went to Peter Stowe's. He's an amazing guy as well. But that was Darren's dad that put me on to Peter Stowe, which amazing when you think, we would race each other every single weekend wherever we go.
Right.
It could be the Wells, it could be a club race, it could be a regional. You get up on the gate and there's me and Darren next to each other again and again and again.
That's why you're both good though, pushed each other.
Yeah, certainly did. So onto Kuwahara National, and then again, it was Darren's dad that introduced me to Ivor J. Clark, which is a guy that I think used to distribute the Peugeot Vitus.
Yeah.
First aluminium bike, wasn't it? I think that
ever
made.
Yeah.
So I had to go. Went to see him, and he so he sponsored me, and he just gave me everything for nothing.
That was probably leading to about 85 then, right?
Late 84, beginning of 85. And then Boogie Racing came in
Boogie,
as well.
Course,
you
great
forget
team.
about Boogie Racing.
So Boogie was CJ, Luke Butler, Martin Parker, you,
John Oakins.
John Oakins, great rider.
What's the girl's name? Carrie.
Caroline Carey, yeah. She's still around.
She was a good little rider. What a brilliant team to be.
Yeah.
I just remember, I think Paul Butler speaking to me and saying, look, I know you're riding for Ivor J. Clark, but we could do like a co-ed thing. You could run our gear and stuff like that, but still, we could put his name on the back of the shirt and stuff like that. And that's what we did.
Yeah.
And it was. I suppose when you look back, it was just a really good time to be involved in BMX, and these people that talk to me and want me to ride for them. It was Boogie Racing was so cool and so laid back.
Yeah, and they had their own number plate.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
they did. I mean, a little story for you as well was in Slaghara, and I think I got 7th or 8th in the final, and so that would have been 85, and I think it was June, wasn't it? Every year June. So I think I had my mock exams that morning.
That for a while.
that morning. And I remember speaking to Jane Butler, CJ's and Luke's mum, driving back, and we're just getting in the van to the yellow boogie bus to come home.
Right.
And I looked at my watch and went, all my mates would be sitting down for their mock exams now. And she went absolutely mental at me.
Oh, because you should have been there.
Yeah. She went absolutely mental. Wow, what you doing? You didn't, just made the final. It doesn't matter.
Good trade.
Yeah. I went, I'm going to be a BMXer, so it doesn't matter. I don't know what. I'm going to be a professional BMXer when I get older. She went, it's not. I don't think you will, Lee. I don't think you will. But yeah, that was.
How did you end up that year then? 85. So
number 5.
Again, that's with Tom, Stu.
Yeah.
Woody.
85, 84. I thought was I. So it's weird because you go back to 83. I raced in 83, and I got 3 lasts. I think it was. Right. It fell off.
That's how you got number 20.
Yes, that was it. Yeah.
Still, top 20 ranking was good then, though.
Back in the day, you only got points when you made the main. Yeah. So if you got the semi-final, that's it.
You needed to make a way to get a plate.
You were cut out. So so that was 20 plate, and then 5 the next year. So 85, 85 was I think for me as well, there's a lot going on. So I had Boogie Racing, Ivor J. Clark. Ivor J. Clark was getting the ump because I should have been, he was giving me all the gear, he was thinking I should be riding in, just in his colours all the time. And I thought, well, obviously Paul and Jane were taking me everywhere. So I had a really good setup.
Yeah.
And then Scorpion, middle of the year of 85, were just hassling me. Jamie was hassling me. One day I remember coming home from school, and there was a bike box for me, and it was a Scorpion.
Right.
So they sent me a Scorpion. So
it's a teaser.
Yeah. So obviously I went to Ivor J. Clark and said, look, I'm going to be riding this. Can you put this together for me? And he went, no chance. So he chucked me off the team. He went, that's it, you're off.
Right.
So fair enough. So I was off. I went to Boogie Racing. I went to Paul and said, look, these guys are bothering me. He went, if they're going to pay for everything, then it's up to you.
Yeah.
We're not going to stand in your way. Paul was so cool. Such a cool dude. I love him. Absolutely love him. The whole family. And so there was a international race at Slough in 85.
Okay, I remember that. Yeah.
And I think me, Stu, and I think it was Steve Bigland come first, second, and third. And the guy that owned Scorpion was over visiting
from the US.
Yeah. Can't remember his name. Big American guy, big tash, big American hat, big cowboy hat, and Jamie said, "Oh, come and meet the guy from Scorpion, the owner of Scorpion."
Mm-hmm.
So I went over and said, "Oh yeah, thanks for sending me the frame." And he went, "Come on, you got to get on the team. You got to get on the team." And I went, "No, I'm just stick with Boogie, and I'm just I can't get him over it. Let's have a chat with him." Anyway, we didn't. And then he proceeded to get a bike out the back of the truck.
Right.
And it was a cruiser. It was a Hammerite cruiser, just fully loaded with everything on it.
Yeah.
And I went, "That's yours." I went, "You're kidding me."
Yeah.
And they just got the kit out and went.
They knew what they were doing.
That's what we did on that day. And I went. So I think my first motor was in Boogie gear, and my second motor was in Scorpion gear.
It worked though, didn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, they know how to do that. You know, a new bike in 1985 and all the gear and stuff. I mean, it's like Christmas just showed up and more. You know.
Yeah. But you start to realise that because I raced for fun back until 85, and then into 86 on the Scorpion. I didn't realise how serious they were. Obviously, when someone's paying money for you to be on the team, paying for everything. We had our team manager, Terry. He went my very first race. Bizarrely, my very first race again. My mum comes into school on a Friday afternoon and takes me out and says, "Oh, we've got to go to a doctor's appointment." And I'm thinking, why is she doing that? But it wasn't. Jamie was at home with Mike Riviere, and we were going to Pontins.
Oh, because he was on the team.
It was. Yeah, it was. So he was. We were going up.
You got in early on the Pontins thing.
Yeah. So went up to Pontins with them, and I remember thinking, wow, I'm everything's paid for. And I remember we going on the way there. We go to McDonald's, and I have a cheeseburger and chips and a milkshake, and these two just like come out with big sacks of stuff.
Right.
And they'll go. They said, "Remember Jamie and Mike going, you'll learn."
Yeah, it's free.
it's free. But yeah, travelling up to there, and then I remember that weekend. I mean, a race against Damon Parkinson. I think he crashed in my back wheel in the semi-final and fell off. It wasn't my fault. He just crashed into me and fell off. But I remember riding with my shirt out, and Terry Jackson, that was his name. He came up to me and he was the team manager, and he, forgive me for swearing, he said to me, "We've got no fucking place in this team for prima donnas. Tuck your fucking shirt. Tuck your fucking shirt in."
Oh, it was like that, was it? Yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, and it was serious. We're paying for you to be here.
Yeah.
You got respect, and but one good thing that he taught me, and I think it would come from my parents anyway, is that any kid that stops and wants to speak to you, you speak to them.
Yeah, you see, back then I'd have had no idea about that stuff.
He said you speak to them, and I think that what shined through then was that I got a letter from a kid's mum.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Speed, his name was. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, I still talk to him. Yeah,
you really?
Well,
Paul Speed,
Scorpion, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
West,
he ended up.
Midlands.
Well, yeah, but he ended up on the Scorpion team.
Right.
But obviously he'd seen us, and his mum had seen us, and he'd spoken to me, and I don't remember. It's these funny feelings. These things happen, don't they? You don't remember who you speak to, but you just treat everyone with respect.
Yeah.
So he'd come up to me, and apparently I gave him my pads or something at the end of the day because he'd been talking to me, and his mum wrote a letter to Scorpion and said, "Say thank you to Lee," and
that's good.
What a good guy he is, and what a brilliant team. And then next thing you know,
it goes a long way.
Paul's on the team, and a year later,
Yeah.
But yeah, what an experience for me.
So did you win? Might be going too quick. Did you win Bercy in 85 or 86?
85.
So it's coming up right now. Then it's got to be right Bercy then, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about
85.
The only British rider to win Bercy, which is Bercy. Everybody, probably most people listening to this know how big it was, and it was in Paris at the end of the season. And I think they'd only take a couple guys from each age group, so it's kind of almost you had to be chosen to go, and then racing in front of 20,000 people.
Yeah, was it as much as that?
I think I just read in one of the magazines. It was 20,000 people watching.
Yeah, it was big. I've never seen anything like it. We had quite a big French Scorpion team as well. So we drove out to Paris, and a couple of days before, we got to meet a local mayor somewhere who was something to do with a local BMX club that they did some sort of big dinner for us as well, and it was just really for me it was overwhelming, just thinking, wow, and they obviously don't speak French, and and you just get loads more kit as well come from America, and and it was just, oh wow, it's just amazing. And obviously staying in a decent hotel, and then getting to see all the American pros. But even to me, it didn't. I wasn't bothered. You know, it's like that's who they are. But I'm here to have fun. Remember, there's pictures of me, Winnie, and Mike. Just you can see us, and there's a picture of you in the background making a silly thumbs up. I think.
I've been 13 then. Yeah.
Yeah. So we went there, and then I didn't have no idea how I was going to do. I had no idea at all. And I got fourth in the motos.
Right.
I don't know if it was quarters or semis. Can't remember, but I didn't. I scraped through fourth.
Yeah.
And ended up with lane 1 in the final. And Dean Iddols is in front of me, and he says to me, "How you been doing today, Lee?" I said, "I've been doing shocking, man. I've been doing absolutely shocking." And he went, "So why is that?" I said, "Oh, my gates have been absolutely horrendous. I'm last all the time." He went, "It's no problem. Just go on orange."
Right.
I went, "You're kidding?" He went, "Yeah, just go on orange." And that's what he did. So I watched.
He was winning, wasn't he?
He was gate 1, but he fell off, didn't he? I think
he was winning though.
Down. Yeah, he was. Yeah, and he got an absolute snap. And I went,
"Yeah, same here.
Gate 1 it is. Yeah, gate 1 it is. I'm going on orange." And I went on orange. And I ruined everybody that race.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't just win. I won really
that was
easily.
A great race. I mean, that's kind of like a worlds type thing.
I think because I didn't even care who was in my age group. I did. I could have been racing the world champion, but I wasn't taking any notice.
Right. Yeah.
Because I was just doing my thing.
Yeah.
Doing my thing. But what an experience.
Scorpion must have been happy.
Yeah, well chuffed. Who's the guy from the American Pro? Was it Brian?
Oh, Byron Friday. Yeah,
Byron
my
Friday.
Friend. He'll listen to this.
Byron Friday.
Yeah.
So I slept with Byron Friday.
Oh, in his room.
What,
literally?
Yeah, at Jamie's. We slept. He grinds his teeth in his sleep.
Right,
We
Byron.
used to. Yeah. He probably won't remember, but we stayed. We stayed at Jamie's house.
He remembers everything. Yeah.
And we went over together. I think I don't know if he got on a plane. I can't even remember who actually he got in the Scorpion bus of us.
Well, he came to England as well. I don't know if it was that trip, but Byron, when he was on Scorpion, was it Ipswich, some stuff in the magazines with him. I think he did a clinic or something. And
probably,
at the same kind of time of it.
Probably, but spent a bit of time with him, went over there. But I mean, one of the funniest things that in BMX I've ever seen is that, Mike Miranda was just, it was a big thing. I do might remember from that weekend, and he was the crowd loved him, absolutely loved him. He was a right showboater, wasn't he? And he just so anyway, we're because I think Scorpion might have been one of the co-sponsors that year as well. Anyway, we're Jamie's in the semi. I think there's a big crash in Jamie's semi, and he gets caught up in it, and Mike's just showboating because he's been fourth.
Right.
Doesn't see Jamie coming. Jamie just takes him out in the last corner.
Oh, because he made it. He's an English guy in the main, isn't he? Yeah.
He just slashes him over the last corner.
Right.
And the whole crowd are booing Jamie. Right. And then in between the semis and the finals, we're going out throwing things into the crowd.
Yeah.
And everyone's throwing them back at Jamie. It's like everyone's hating Jamie and they're calling his name. It'd be so good if we could see videos of that final and then the pros being called out. And
I think Geff told me. I think Geff told me, because Geff was at that race as well. Yeah. I seem to remember it was Geff that told me that people were throwing tomatoes and stuff when he was on the gate and stuff. And
it
was like the French.
They didn't like us.
Right.
They didn't like us. I mean, sadly, I think that that our pros ended up all in the same motos that race, because they were going fast. Craig, Geff.
Yeah,
I think Tim was there as well, and I think they all kept taking each other out.
Right.
And I don't think hardly any of them qualified for the
Jamie was
semis.
the only English guy in there. Yeah.
Yeah, which is a shame because they were looking good.
Yeah.
They were looking as fast as the Yanks.
Yeah, I think it's probably bad timing. Thinking whenever it was, October, November, probably they'll had a couple of months off racing, and it was. Yeah, I'm sure they weren't ready as prepared as they would early on in the year.
No, and I just remember you got this number plate and you got this massive, great big Yop drink. Because it was sponsored by Yop, wasn't it? So big.
You'd OD on it, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So and it was huge. It was like meant to be like a champagne bottle, I guess, for winning, and loved it.
I was listening to a podcast during the Tour de France, like Bradley Wiggins was doing like daily podcasts, and he was obviously doing it. He was in France, he was at the Tour de France, and him and the guy doing the podcast, they're talking about drinking Yop. And I'm like, really? It must still be going then. It was 30 years ago when we were canning that stuff, It was what experience. Absolutely loved it. Yeah, that would have been a cool race for I didn't think I only went twice. Didn't make that year 85 semis, and then I got a fourth in 87. Actually, when I race your friend Nick Restel, we'll talk about him later.
Sure.
So obviously next year, 86 was probably your best year, right? It was.
Tell
us a little bit about that. What was different that winter then? Maybe training more.
So training. So last year of school, I think school was all done by about May time.
Yeah.
And then obviously having Jamie and Mike just pushing me all the time.
Mike Riviere is really good. Nobody talks about him. Much, do they?
No, they don't. No. They don't. But yeah, what good fun as well.
Right, I never knew him really now.
He's such a funny dude. Good fun. Obviously, we were roomies for the whole of that season, part of the season before. I wanted to go Superclass. I intended to go Superclass in '86. Mike was already Superclass. And I remember winding him up saying, "But I'm better than you.
Right, yeah.
I'm going to be better than you anyway."
Tom went that year, so it'd been possible for you to go on. Yeah,
I mean, obviously now I'm glad that I didn't, because it worked out quite well for me. But I think what was different was that even though I was making every final, and I have been making every final for many years, and doing quite well. But the difference was that Jamie would be saying to me, "Just chill. You're in second. Just chill.
Yeah.
Just chill. It's a marathon. These 15 races or whatever we have to have a year. I think, or 12 races, 12, 15 nationals." He said, "We're going to go to every one. You just take it easy.
Yeah.
Just stop pedaling where you're pedaling. Just follow people. Just stick behind them." So, I think the first national that year, I don't even think I even made the final. It was a wet one, wasn't it? I think.
Slough.
Yeah.
I think that was a late
Damon Parkinson
when he passed Woody. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, he passed Darren, didn't he? Down the last straight or last corner.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably already gone home by then if I was there.
Right.
The final. I wasn't watching the final. I was going home.
Right.
So, but yeah. So the difference would be moving to Jamie's for a bit, pretty much the whole time riding with him, and he was so aggressive, and he was just good fun to be with, and take you out all the time. We used to do gates together, constantly doing gates together and riding together. So I said we had a trainer as well,
and he'd have already won the Skoda by then, right?
Yeah.
You guys cruise that then?
No, he sold it, didn't he? He pretty much drove it out of the showroom and sold it, I think, pretty much straight away. So so the difference would be that it was more focused, it was more serious, but at the same time having fun behind the scenes, and just being. I think I was just so confident, get me on the gate. I'm never scared of anybody. I think the year before in '85, and Darren would tell you that I think at regional level, I think I won every race in '85, right. And I think people like Tom would come to the national series, and Tom, Whopper, Tim Print, Dave would just get in my way. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't get a very good start. Darren always had a good start.
Yeah.
So Darren was so big for a 13, 14, 15-year-old kid.
Yeah.
He was so big, and he was so quick. His starts were so good. Mm-hmm. We used to call, but a few people at the club used to call him Auto Man, because he used to come out the gate. So once he was past that 15-metre mark, he was coming across.
Right.
We just called him Auto Man. But taught me how to ride, how to get past him. But yeah, so for me, I get to the nationals. I was pretty in '85. I used to get so pissed because of the fact that Darren keeps winning. He keeps winning, and I'm getting to the regionals and I'm beating him. I guess because I could pick him off.
Right.
And you just couldn't do that in the national series. And I think I spent too much time thinking about how we're going to get past Darren at the nationals, and should have just stopped it. And I think what our trainer, our coach, what you want to call him, Paul, his name was. He taught me to think about myself, be in control of what you're doing, and forget about everybody else. I don't care what gate oh no, I've picked gate 8.
Right.
So what?
That's valuable information then, because nobody was telling me anything like that.
Well, he was he was an Olympic swimmer, so right. I guess it's you've done. He used to say to me, "You've done so many starts, you've done so many of this, if you got an A, we talk about an A and a B and a C plan." And he says, well, your A game is you get a good start, you're gone, aren't you, Lee? Yeah. He said, if you've got a little inkling in your head that maybe the person next to you on the gate is probably going to outgate you, he said, just mess around with him, mess around with his head.
Yeah.
Just say,
good advice, really.
Hope you're getting good gates today, because mine are wicked.
Right.
I'll tell you what, I'm coming across.
Right. Yeah.
And if I wasn't, you'd hear me go, hold it, hold it on the gate. It was
right. Yeah, you did, didn't you? Yeah. Rebel
I was
as
at
well,
86 was the thing, and that was all from Paul. I never did it in 85 or.
Right.
It was all from Paul saying, you know, they're not your friends. Well, they were. They were some of the riders, and they probably still are today. You know, they were my friends. But it's once you're behind the gate, don't talk to anyone, and if you do, just wind them up.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really like that, but it was,
Yeah,
you know, and Jamie was like that. Jamie can take the piss out of a lot of people, you know, and give them stick. And I think getting into people, you know, and it just made me, I think it made me more so confident.
Yeah.
That these guys that I was with were going, yeah, you can do it, you can do it. And then with Jamie saying, you know, if you don't try and get first all the time.
Consistent.
Yeah, and I was that year. Apart from, I think I made every single final apart from Slough first one.
So you got UKBMX #1 that year. What about? Obviously, that was a big year internationally for all of us because the Europeans were in Germany, big one for all of us, and obviously just right after that Slough World. So maybe tell us a little about those two races.
Oh right, okay. So I went to Germany. So I'm there looking, and I'm there. Well, get to Germany. And I think I didn't get to practice. And I remember bumping into Tom Lynch and Tom saying, I said, I think we'd gone swimming or something. I'd missed practice.
There was a swimming pool, right?
There was,
yes.
We'd gone swimming and we'd missed practice. And he went, right, you jump one of my yellow plates, jump one of those on, stick one of those on, sorry, and we'll ride together.
Yeah.
And okay. So, I don't know if Tom will remember, but yeah, I was riding well.
Yeah.
I was fast in 86.
Yeah.
Really fast.
I mean, all you guys were in that kind of age. Tom had already won the Euros the year before.
Yeah.
You know,
and Tom will tell you, if he got on the gate with me, he knew he was going to get a good race. And sometimes he would know that I would give him a good race.
Yeah.
And then I think out of me and him doing the practice, me and him were with everybody in the Superclass to the first corner, and it was either me in front or him in front. Anyway, I wasn't registered.
Oh. Yeah, I was wondering why you're not on the videos or nothing.
No, I wasn't registered.
So you never even raced?
No.
So do you stand watch till you went home?
I raced Cruiser. I was registered for Cruiser.
So who should have registered you?
Jamie.
Oh, he wasn't there, right?
No, he wasn't there because the pros weren't there anyway. Yeah. So I went to.
That's a friendship deal for me. That would be. Ooh.
Anyway, so Jamie said he'd paid. Sue Jarvis said he never had. So I'm at Sue Jarvis going, but. Obviously, as a kid, when you think about it now, but I'm the best rider in the UK at the moment. I'm winning all the races. I'm winning all the races.
Yeah.
I remember saying,
"This is stupid."
Sorry. I remember I must apologise to Kevin McCauley, who was Scottish, and saying to him at the time, "But you're Scottish. Why are you racing?"
Right.
You know, and I said, "He's Scottish," and I was going absolutely mental.
Right.
And then what can you do? I wasn't.
Yeah, I wondered why you weren't.
I wasn't registered. I was absolutely gutted.
And obviously the English guys, Tim Print made the main, Clive got 4th, I think. Yeah, he did get 4th.
Yeah. I was winning that.
Yeah. Well, good. Definitely.
I was winning it. And I guess out of all the things you do, it's one of those things you think, God, what could have been? But
yeah. Oh, yes, I never knew that.
No.
Slough Worlds?
Yeah, age on the day.
So you bumped up then, right?
I was 17 on the 22nd. It was on the 22nd.
Oh.
Yeah. Cruise around 20. Over the bars on the gate in the quarter.
Right.
Gutted. And then obviously you've heard on the other podcast that Darren has done that he shut me off and pushed me off the track into the tyres and then trod on me as he went round. No, he didn't. Maybe, when you look back, I was in 3rd, he was in 4th, and I should have shut him down into the corner. I didn't. I gave him a little bit of space. First time ever.
Right.
Thinking that's it. We're both through to the final of the World Championships. But as the track lined up, he cut me out. So ended up hitting the tyres. And once you hit the tyres.
Yeah.
Because we had tyres that around all the tracks in those days, didn't we? And straight over the handlebars, and I was off. So I was upset with that. That was
that's especially Slough, such a big race. But you still finished off the year, got #1, so that must have felt pretty good. Then you turned Superclass.
Yeah. So Superclass. I mean, Region 9. Was just awesome. You had everyone. There's just so many good riders to race against, to ride against. Scorpion was coming to an end. I'd heard as well that we had next year in the 87 we had to go and do regionals up and down the country with no points towards it. That was a bit naff, I thought. And then to hear that we weren't allowed to ride our No.1 plates.
Oh, when you turned Superclass.
Yeah,
right.
Not allowed to ride them, and that was a big thing for me. I can remember me, Tom, Andy, Winston. So we're all saying why, why? Well, because no one will know who you are.
Right.
No, hold on a minute. Just look at the four of us. We're all totally different. Everyone on the finish line knows who we are.
Right.
I mean, in the States, they must ride. Everyone must with the No.1 or different.
I mean, even today, sometimes 2 or 3 No.1s on the gate. Yeah.
And I just got so pissed off that I said I don't want to race again. Seriously, so I stopped.
So did you do any Superclass races that year?
Yeah, I did. So beginning of 87, I started.
87.
I did the first race, and then to hear that I was definitely couldn't, use my.
What bike was you on?
I was on the Scorpion still.
Okay,
then.
so on Scorpion.
And then I said, that's it. I'm not riding anymore. I've had enough.
Right.
So I said, that's it. I've had enough, and I just stopped. And then so it must have been middle. I don't even think I did a national. I did the last 3 nationals of that year in UKBMX in Superclass, and Jamie was getting a deal with Shiners he was riding for Haro, and he'd gone to Bristol. And I went, no, I'm not riding anymore. I said, I've had enough. I'm not riding. I just fed up with it. I'm not having it. I work 5 years of traipsing up and down the country with, feeling sorry for my rest of my family because my sisters and my brother and me just pestering my mum and dad for years and years and years. Come, please let me go. Please take me. And you try so hard so we want, innit? We want this No.1 on your plate.
It was a big deal then, wasn't it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It might not be so much anymore. But it was a big deal. So anyway, I didn't want to do it. Anyway, Jamie turned up on his way back from Shiners with a pink Hutch.
Right, yeah.
And went, just got this for you.
All right then.
I went, all right then. I suppose I better ride it.
Yeah, Hutch as well,
Yeah. So it was a really nice bike, and what a difference to the Scorpion. Just a much better bike. So easier to handle. Starts so much quicker.
And it cool back then when your friend could just go and get your sponsor and bring it back.
I know.
Hoops you have to jump through now to get anything.
Yeah, and all the kit and everything. And went, okay, let's do it. So I raced the last 3 nationals of that season. I think I got 3 seconds.
Okay,
I was 3 seconds behind Tom Lynch.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Ipswich was I think there was a bit of cheating going on in Ipswich because I'm sure I won. But his sister was the line judge.
So you guys are close over the line?
Oh yeah, every race, neck and neck. So I can only remember Bretton's. I was winning Bretton's, and he overtook me on the line. Them dodgy little whoops on the last straight where you just no landing. I remember landing on the flat and then somehow landing with his bars back and pedaling like he always did.
Right.
And then just lunging at the line and thinking, shit.
Yeah, he did that a lot.
He done it again. And then in Ipswich, I've sort of coasted to the line and he's got the inside of me.
Right.
It's like, he done it again, But yeah, that's what we did. Anyway, so that was winning you 75 quid or 100 quid at a time. And then that was at end of 87. And Jamie said, I got second at a national the other day. In pro. And he's like, and I got 250 quid. I went, you're kidding? I went, who's pro? And he's gone through all the names of the riders, and I've gone, right, I might have a little go at that then.
Because you did, didn't you?
Yeah. So he went, why don't you? He said, you should do. So then that's what I did. Different back then, I had to go and meet someone. Tony Hoffman, yeah. So I had to go and meet him in a hotel in where was it?
Well, he lived in Nottingham.
Yeah, so where was it? I can't remember, but somewhere up the M1, and so I get Coventry, as it's Coventry, so all the way to Birmingham. So I get there, and you got to say to fill in a form and say this is what you're going to do, and a code of conduct. And you had to say the
PRA.
Yeah, all the way.
The PRA.
All the way,
yeah.
Yeah, all the way with the PRA. And I remember signing this document and contract, and him saying that what we want you to do is X, Y, Z, and at the nationals, we want you to do this, we want you to do that. want you to go and do clinics at clubs and stuff like that. If you get asked, would you do that? Yeah, definitely. So when I look back at that season in '88, I look about the amount of money that I won in '88. I think at the time it was like $3,000 or something, which probably equates nowadays.
In 1988 as well.
Yeah. So what's that going to be?
That's an XR2, XR3.
Yeah. Is it really?
I mean, it would have been back then.
Yeah. So you're so you look at it maybe $30,000. Yeah. In this. And because I raced every single race I could. And
so you'd have raced with Tony Fleming, Damon Parkinson, Gep a little bit here and there when he did it, and then obviously the last few guys in the pros.
Andy, Craig. I might have raced Tim, Frankie.
So did Jamie get up the ump then when you started beating him straight away?
No, he didn't.
He was alright.
He didn't. He was injured, had a bad back for that most of that season.
Yeah.
I think the first race I did.
They were all kind of winding it down as well, weren't they, them guys?
Yeah, I don't think Jamie was. Jamie was really still up for it. So really still training. And I got to, I decided that I was going to ride my bike, and then just decided I wasn't going to keep on working. I didn't really need to work. So I think I had 6 months or 8 months of that year where I didn't work. I just rode my bike, which was brilliant. Just rode it absolutely everywhere as much as I could. Just went everywhere, and every pro race there was, every clinic that I was asked to do, I went and did. I used to get paid a couple £100.
Yeah, it's good money, isn't it?
And then
back then.
a couple $100.
It was hard to get a job then as well.
Yeah, hard. A couple £100 to ride around the track and do a couple of 360s.
Yeah.
And then race.
Wait on the gate.
And then race everyone at the end.
Yeah, I remember the pros, and obviously I remember to see a lot of Whopper's dad's been posting a lot of the videos. But you could tell you guys had all been trained, because when they did the lineup on the gate, you guys would all be waving.
Yeah, we're clapping.
Like clapping. And
everyone's, that was one of the things that we were told we had to do.
I think, I talked to somebody on one of the podcasts about Tony Hoffman, and it was pretty cool what he did with all that stuff. Geff never kind of was rebellious against that, but what he was trying to do, market you guys, and you guys would do races in Scotland and all over the place. So he did have a good little plan.
He did, and we had our own little. Well, it was a big coach that I think we that we used to sit on, and we had our own pro area and our own car park sometimes at the Nationals, VIP, and it was he made a big thing about it, and I think what is could be missing a bit now is the fact that in between the moto semis and finals. It'd get us out there. Yeah. Get us out there talking on the mic what we're going to do.
Even at Pontins, there's chat shows and stuff with everybody and stuff. Yeah. And
just getting people out and bunny hopping people and, and doing, like I say, doing 360s, doing tricks and doing jumps. Who can get the highest jump, and really getting the crowd wound up. And, he was good.
I think it's a shame, even though it was good money for you at the time, it's still the sport was on a bit of a downsized from the mid 80s, from the big money that Ruffle, Schofield and them guys made. Yeah. If he'd have done that a few years previously, or it would have been a better economy race wise, you guys could have really took it to the next level. But obviously it didn't. No. Pro racing came to an end in 1988, and we posted about this a few weeks ago and was discussing it. The last race for you guys was Runnymede, BMX, and you was telling me a little bit last time I saw you earlier in the summer that it was between you and Flem for the number one, right? Yeah, and he took me out in the last main. Okay, right. I won't tell you what happened afterwards, but I wasn't happy. Right. And he knew what he was doing. Yeah, I think I won the first one, he won the second main, and then it was between but we were pretty much joint on points. But I guess there's nothing out there that would tell you that. But no, I've been looking for that 1988 rankings, which I put in that post. It's really hard to find much about the pro stuff from that year, because he was only racing in MBMXA. Yeah, at the time. And then I think we looked after our own points as well. I think there was a lady that was involved. I can't remember her name. It's a lovely lady that used to look after us a lot. And she used to working out all the points. And I remember it getting to the last race, and me and Tony being up for the number one pro for that year, I think. And he took me out. Monkey. Yeah. So there's like you, Flam, Damon Parkinson, Paul Gray, who suddenly passed, unfortunately passed away a few years ago. And then you guys came back. Well, you end of 88. You didn't come and do the British Championships. You weren't there. No. Jamie was there. Yeah. I didn't come down. So you was kind of done for that year then, right? Yeah. No idea why. And then 89. I think 88 and 89. I was moving away from home. I think I just moved away and moved up to Buntingford in Hertfordshire.
So I wasn't really into my racing as much as everybody else. But and then by that time, 88, 89, clubbing come along, didn't it?
Yeah.
Going out raving and stuff like that.
So you raced a little bit for the next couple of years and just kind of moved into regular life, right?
Yeah, it just petered out, really. I think for, sadly, because I'd earned quite a bit of money, that, there wasn't that much money in it. Right. And the youngsters were just training hard, and I didn't have the will to keep. Well, just to keep at it, because you needed to, didn't you? It's like you needed to. And plus, once I'd moved away, I was saving up for a mortgage, got a new job, wanted to get a house or flat at the time, and just BMX was getting in the way. I kept hurting myself as well. I had some serious injuries around about that time. Punctured kidney, broken elbow, fractured ankles. All around 88, 89, 90. Concussion.
Oh, wow.
I just.
Because I only raced you a couple of times. That'd have been about 89, 90.
The
Castleford race that you said you think might have been your last race.
Yeah.
I mean, you battled at Slough in 88, 89.
89, yeah.
Where Paul does the interviews at the end.
That's right, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I had 3 people don't get that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, what a time.
Yeah. That was good. So tell us about the raving then. So was you like how big was you into it?
So I ended up. A friend of mine ended, and he worked for a sound guy. We used to go to raves. He said to me, we're going to go to these raves, and if we jump in with Tim, we can help set up the speakers. He'll pay us, and then we just got to stay there to the end and take the speakers down. So travel around the country from 1991, 92. 93, all round, all over.
What was your get up? What did you wear?
What did I wear?
Yeah, what was your
flares, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Flares.
Just a bit acid then, right?
Yeah. Flares, long hair.
Yeah. You did have long hair, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So I was banging to it. And the music, I just loved the music. Yeah. What a time. Brilliant
time. Absolutely a good time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I don't think I got into it a little bit, not too big. I just stayed locally. Yeah. But I mean, I love the music. I still do. I still listen to some of that stuff.
Yeah, my kids are into it now as well, so that's good. All the
show them some moves that you can do.
Yeah.
All right, one story I want to know about. I've heard bits and pieces. Tell us a little bit, and a lot of these people listen to this know who Nicky Restel is. Nicky Restel was the age group below me. He was always factory, Haro, Diamondback, always national number 2 or 3. I think he got number 1, maybe 88.
I think he was number 1, 86.
Okay, no,
was he not? 87.
Jeremy McKinnon always kind of
did he
popped him, but I think he won it in kind of 87, 88. But anyway, he was a good rider. Nicky Restel was good, and it was obviously one of your good friends. So tell us a little bit about what happened to Nicky.
Best man at his wedding. So Nick won the lottery in 96, I think it was 96, 97.
How much?
3.5 million.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was really weird. So I think I'd got a new girlfriend at the time. It was now my wife Hannah. She, I'd stayed over hers, and I remember getting back in the days when you had answer phones.
Right.
So I remember
I didn't even have that.
I remember getting back into my flat and pressing my answer phone. There's about 10 messages on there. Lee, it's Nick. Where are you? Right. And then by the time it back to the 10th phone, it's like, where the bloody hell are you? So obviously he's obviously something going on. Anyway, I couldn't ring him because I was going straight to work. So I get to work. And as soon as I get to work, someone says, this guy called Nick's been ringing you constantly since 8 o'clock. So I better ring him back. So I ring him. He said, right, Lee, you got a pen? I went, yeah, I've got a pen. He went, write this number down. I went, okay. He said 3, 5, something 4, 6 or 3, 4, 6 point. And he went, oh yeah, and I won a tenner on another line. He said, I won the lottery. I went, you're kidding.
Unreal.
He went, no, I won the lottery. He said, down tools. He said, and come and meet me in London. And I said, well, I can't.
And you was in the office, right?
Yeah, I was in office. So I was running an office products and office furniture company, and I think I was looking after about 20 people. So I was in charge. I was like the office manager. And I remember going to my boss and saying to him, one of my best friends has just won the lottery. He went, well, okay. So what are you saying? I went, well, what I'm saying is I'm going to take the next couple of days off. He went, okay. And I said, and if you say no, my mates told me to tell you to fuck off.
I love the story. Yeah.
So he went, well, you better fuck off then. I went, really? He went, no, take the couple of days off. I mean, there's the story is even funnier because, so obviously I tell my mum and dad, and I go, right, I ring mum and dad, I might see you tonight. I ring my girlfriend, and we've only been together for a bit, and I said, look, one of my best friends, I've only met him once, but he's won the lottery.
Yeah.
He wants us to go down to London. There's all of us meeting up in a hotel.
It was in the sun, wasn't it? In the sun?
Yeah. His wedding was in the sun as well.
Right.
It was all in the sun. Yeah. So anyway, so we go down to London. We meet him at the Skyline Hotel, which is next to Heathrow Airport. And so obviously my family have found out, and another really good friend of ours, Rob Sedgwick. Mm-hmm. So as you know of Rob Sedgwick. Yeah. So yeah, he was born of a cruiser rider and a 20-inch rider. Still friends with him now.
Yeah,
still work together. He married my wife's best friend. So introduced them two together. Anyway, so he's in Tesco's on the same day, right? He's in Tesco's on the same day in the evening, and he's pushing his trolley around Tesco's,
right,
with his food in it, and he bumps into my brother, and my brother says to him, "What the hell are you doing here?" He said, "Well, what do you think I'm doing now? I'm doing my shopping."
Right.
He went, "Well, why aren't you at the Skyline Hotel? Why aren't you at the Skyline Hotel?" He's gone, "What a fucker!" He said, "I thought he was lying."
Right.
He said he ran out the store and left his food in the store. I remember Rob turning up and just being like, "Oh my god!" And we all had Dom Perignon champagne that evening, each, a bottle each. Yeah, what?
And didn't you and Nicky just go travel then?
Well, no, Nick, because I was I couldn't, because I was, I had a job, and unless you're going to pay my mortgage off and pay me to not work, then that was fine. But Nick, Nick was so, he's just such a good guy, and just so helpful with money, and I never ever asked him for anything, but he was so kind. I would get, this is quite funny. So I'd get up some mornings. I've been round. I'd go to put my jacket on. There's a couple $100 in my jacket.
Oh, that's nice.
How about that? Yeah.
That's so much money back then as well.
Yeah. And I'd go put a pair of socks on, and there'd be a couple $100. So we'd come round, and I'd go, he'd say, whatever you want, Lee, whatever you want. You can have whatever you want. I don't need anything. I'm fine. So he used to take friends out, and we living sort of away from them lot, from an hour and a half's drive away. So he would come up and see me, and he said, "Look, I've got to take you out." So I said, "Okay, take me out." Okay, so we went to London. He took me shopping. So I said, "What? You can have anything you want." So okay, so we're in Armani, we're in Boss, we're in all these shops. I'm trying all these suits on, and they're just not working for me.
Right.
So I end up going to Next and buying suits from Next, because I needed suits for work. Yeah. So
Next were good clothes back then. Yeah.
So it was so funny because I was trying on stuff in Armani, and I was like, what you do when you go shopping? Don't go shopping so much anymore, because you buy everything online. But back in the day, you go shopping when you try something on, wouldn't you? And you go to your mates, "What do you think?" And it was going, "Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's all right." But they're like, it's like a couple £100 for a pair of trousers. He went, "Do you know what? Have one of each colour." And what was so funny was and I was going, and he was just throwing clothes at me in Armani, and I just don't know how much money. There was a company called Red or Dead that we used to go to get our shoes from, and bought me a pair of boots, and they were like £400 or something. I'm just like, wow, I think I've still got them. Right. But yeah, he bought me a tag watch. Helped me get my first mortgage here, or second mortgage in the house. Gave me some money, even though I did ask him for some money to start a business. So I needed $5,000 to start a business. He went, "Oh, no, I don't want to give it to you. Too many things have happened with friends and stuff that I've given money to." And anyway, when I got married, he gave me $5,000, which is like a couple of months after I started my business. So and I'll still talk to him now.
He's doing all right.
Yeah, he's doing all right for himself. Yeah.
Good for him, man. Yeah, I remember. Because that's way before social media, or it's just when everybody just went away and did their own thing. And I remember hearing little snippets and probably the stuff in the newspapers. And,
I mean, we did. Yeah, I mean, we did. So me and my girlfriend at the time, Hannah, my wife, we were going to go travelling anyway. So it was her idea to go travelling. She was always going to go travelling, and I think it was the day before she was going up to London to get a visa for Australia. I just decided I was going to go with her. So just like that, just went, "I'm going to come with you," and I went, but a few stipulations. I want to go here, there, and the other places, and then by that time Nick he'd already won his money, or just about. Was it? I don't think. Yeah, no, he hadn't. He hadn't won his money by then. So we'd gone and got our visas. He won his money, and then I think he won it in October time. We went away in the end in January '98, and I just remember. So I'd gone away, and I was obviously in Thailand or wherever we were, and he was ringing my mum, asking my mum where I was. He'd already just buggered off to Australia.
Right.
And my mum was like, well, he hasn't lived at home. He's like 27 years old. He's lived at home for 10 years. It's like, I don't know where he is. He's in Thailand. Right. Anyway, so they took a flight from Australia to Thailand, right? And then someone said, oh, if anything, he's going to go to Koh Samui or wherever, so or Koh Phangan. So weirdly, and we were on. Imagine you could only get to this one island by boat. And there were little tiny longtail boats that you could only get to. Anyway, so me and Hannah were on the beach one day, and we could hear someone shouting out, Hannah, Hannah, and we've looked up and thought, that's a speedboat. Like a speedboat's pulled up. It's only Nick. He'd found us.
That's funny. Other side of the world.
Yeah. One of our friends we'd gone travelling with. We'd gone to an island, left us and gone to an island to meet some other friends, and they bumped into him. Walking down the street or drive. We're on motorbikes or something.
Completely other side of the world.
Yeah. So he stayed with us for a bit. Paid for us to do 2 paddy dives. So we we learned to snooper dive. So that was just awesome. Absolutely awesome. Went to Australia. He was living out in Australia for a few months, and he'd bought a Pajero. Then when he went home, he hadn't able to sell it, so he went, you better look after it and try and sell it, Lee. I went, yeah, okay, I'll sell it. Obviously I couldn't. There was no one was buying Pajeros in them days. Right. Went, wink, wink. Yeah. So he'd be ringing me going, you sold that Pajero yet? No. The market's not very good at the moment, Nick. So I was a backpacker, and I was driving this Pajero to work, and having to park it quite a way away, because the car was better than some of the main directors that owned the business.
That's funny.
So I was a backpacker. But yeah, good times.
So then you kind of came back and just carried on with life, and then came back again, right, into racing?
Yeah.
So how did you get back into it?
Oh God. So we got time for that?
Right,
I'll give you a quick snippet then. Yeah. So BMX was done, as you know, done for me by 1991. Jamie and Craig Schofield got back into riding, I think in 2004, I think it was, and they knew that I was working in a town that was a main distributor at the time for BMXs. They said to me, "Oh, do me a favour, go into this shop, and we want to get 2 park bikes. Do a deal." Went, okay, well, so we'll go and see the guy in the shop. Turns out he knows me anyway, so I'm chatting to him and said, oh look, Jamie, he put the phone over to him, and they were discussing what they were going to do, the deal they were going to do. And then I said, is BMX, racing, is it still... And I think Jamie just started riding again then.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was on the free agent team then or not, but...
it's pretty quick, I think he got on there, yeah.
Did he? Anyway, so I just went, have you got any race bikes in the shop? And he went, well, the race scene's pretty dead at the minute, but yeah... 3rd floor, whatever. Anyway, I had a look up there, I had a look at the race bike, saw a cruiser, came back downstairs, and I said, how much is that cruiser? And he went, 195 quid, whatever it was, you can have it. Really? So I bought a bike. Just like that. Craig and Jamie never bought their bikes. I bought a bike, took it home, brought it home. That weekend, there's a track up the road here, Royston, and just jumped on my bike, rode up there, it's about 3 miles away, rode up there, went round the track, obviously no helmet or anything. Went round the track. There was 2 dudes up there, all full kit, looking pretty factory.
Right.
And I rode round, got to the start hill, I stopped, and this one guy that was there, he said, "You're Lee Alexander." I said, "How the hell do you know that?" He said, "I can tell by your dodgy riding style." and it was Alan Hill.
Right.
And it was Alan Hill. So I was like, wow. And then, so, it sort of fast forward, and the club are hassling me to ride, hassling me to become a coach, all these different things. And I raced against Hilly one regional, I think in 2005, and I was second to him, obviously, and I think he was number one at the time, and I was right behind him.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, hold on a minute, I've not been on a bike for 15 years.
Yeah. And
I'm keeping up with the world champion.
Yeah.
So it must be. Let's give this a little try, and then I did, and then I went to the 2005 reunion race at down at Bournemouth.
Okay,
Yeah, so I got to race Jamie and everybody else, and I think that's the year Jamie got number one, I think, or won the.
I think he got 14 over cruising number one. Yeah.
Yeah. I managed to beat him that day though.
Right, I didn't go to that race. No, I wasn't there, but the pictures are still floating around, aren't they?
Yeah,
like a good
that
crew
was
of people there.
good. That was good fun. I remember seeing Tim Print there.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing Tim, he's a great guy. Always loved racing against him. You get him on the big tracks and he was gone.
Right.
A good start. He was
one
gone.
of the
Tim Print. Yeah, Whopper. You think all the people, Dave Morris, all the people that were in our age group.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, we talked about it loads of times on podcasts. Your age group, just everybody, so many good riders, and that that won big things, national championships, Europeans, worlds.
Yeah.
So you had a tough class. So then you get on the free agent team. We built a new little free agent team during that period.
Yeah. So
Raleigh came in and distribution with free agents. So I used to come and help all that happen, and we had a pretty good free agent team. And obviously you went on that, and you got number one and British champ, right?
No, I got British champ. But I didn't get number one. Again, just fell off my bike too many times. And I think at that, well, something had been 2006. I had a 2-year-old daughter, at that time, and my wife didn't know anything about BMX, So in 2005 and 2006, you get to find out that it's quite a big thing once you get back into racing. I didn't want to get back into racing, if I'm honest, because I knew what I could end up being like, So sadly I suffered with I've got 2 damaged vertebrae in my back, so 1 week I'd be all right riding, and the next week I'd be out, And so I'd even some races. I think if you remember at Manchester,
just back, your back.
Yeah, my back would go. So you remember me racing there and just
going,
I've got to go home. That's it. But you looked all right, so now I can't move.
Right.
So I slipped discs, I think used to call it in the old days, didn't they? So that's what I had. So I think I got number 4. I think in the first year in Masters.
Yeah.
I won. I think I only won one race that year, one big race, but
and you was always on flats, right?
Yeah, never went on clips. I never went on clips.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah.
I think I won Chesterfield from gate 8, and this is a funny story. So I'm in gate 8, and I'm lining up, and it's a bit of a rainy, muddy day, and so there's a broom by the side of the track. So I get gate 8, so I put my bike down. Someone had crashed on the race before. Get my bike down. I sweep my lane, right? Put the broom down. And then all of a sudden the starter goes, right, no one else, we ain't starting. I said, what do you mean not starting? So no. Lee's got to sweep everybody else's gate.
Oh, you're kidding me?
No. So I had to sweep everybody else's.
You see, that was a good tactic,
meters.
even back then, and even when I went to America, when it rained a bit, I learned from obviously back in the early English days, you take a little cloth, went to the Raleigh Nationals and clean up behind your gate. And
rub the gate.
I started doing that, even the gate as well. And I started doing that in a couple, only just a few races a year in the rain races. I'm like, wow, nobody really knows about this tactic.
Carry your bike to the start.
Carrying your
bike.
Don't
put
all those old
down.
school methods. I'm like, a lot of these new people don't know about it.
You get your gloves, and even now with the dust that gets on the track, it's like the kids that we haven't mentioned, but I've been a coach for 11 years, BMX coach for 11 years, and I say to them, just get your gloves and just wipe the front, and just spin your back wheel.
Those old Immingham Nationals and those. Herne all the little things that your dad would probably tell you to do back then. They kicked in later for me. I'm like, wow, people aren't really clicked into this, but they really worked, didn't they?
Yeah.
So he was racing again, and then what? Then you kind of disappeared again for a little while, right? You had kids and stuff, and
So I'm in injury as well. So what I do? So 2007. I think I was racing all the time, but just not every single weekend. Just couldn't do every single weekend. Couldn't do all the nationals. And injuries, I think we can sort of skip from 2006. I did well in 2006, 2007, still raced. I got 2009, won the Brits in 2009, which was on cruiser though, not on 20.
Still counts.
I got DQ'd in the semi.
For what?
Crossing the white line apparently. And then what was really funny was the guy that actually got the position. Someone on social media, put a picture of him going around the first corner, and his whole bike was over the line.
Right.
And apparently, I just crossed the line slightly going into the second corner, and I got DQ'd. I mean, just remember thinking, "Oh my god!" Just like I was in second anyway. It's like.
Yeah.
But yes, what happens, doesn't it? It happens, and you can't. You can shout as much as you like, but ain't nothing's changing.
No.
Yeah. And then I think I raced the Worlds at Birmingham, but you wouldn't know because I fell off in practice, so I didn't race it.
So you never raced?
No,
Oh.
no, smashed ribs. And then in 2013, I had a big crash. I think there was. I think the vets. I don't know when vets came in, but obviously I was 42 and vets come in. It was 40 plus, wasn't it? So I raced vets. So I got a stomach illness. So I missed the first 4 nationals, and then I won. I think I won every race that year that I raced in, apart from the last Bournemouth race where I crashed. And then that year you were over in Manchester, my back went, so I couldn't race that as well. So every race that I went in, I
about 12.
Yeah. So Wayne Foster got number 1, and Wayne's a fast dude. And then you got the super vets, haven't you? So I 2013 injury, snapped my arm in half. So that was it. That's my BMX days over. And then so 2019, so 6 years passes, and I'm helping some guys out with sprinting, and then we get told there's going to be super vets or whatever it's called, grand vets now.
So it's kind of the first year of 50 plus then, right?
Yeah, 2019, and then so I'm training some local guys, and we're doing sprints on flats, and then they're doing sprints on their clips, and then we're getting towards the start of the season, getting close towards March, and I think, do you know what, I'm gonna have a little ride.
Yeah.
I bought myself a Pure, done a little deal with Rich T, and then did. I thought I have a few goes, and out of the guys that we were training with, I think I was like hundreds of a second slower than them.
Right.
I'm thinking, I'm on flats and we lot are on clips. Oh, do you know what? I'm going to race again.
Right.
My wife said, if you ever race again, I'm divorcing you. Right? So we went to the first national of the season in 2019 up to Manchester, and I didn't tell her I was racing. Yeah.
She didn't even know? No idea?
No clue, no. I raced and won. I won the first national in 50 plus. And then because of my arm, I think I'd gone to, we obviously raced Manchester, and once I'd got there and started riding the track, then I realised what it was all about. Right. Everyone's saying how dangerous it is and how
Manchester's tough as well. Yeah.
If you get your pedals wrong, you're out.
Yeah.
You get your body shape wrong, you're out. You're going to hurt yourself. So I took it. I don't even think I manualed up the first jump until my third moto.
Right.
So I was just rolling over the jumps. And then I think it was one of the young kids that I coached. He'd only been 14 at the time, and I remember watching him and thinking, "Oh man, if he can do it, I'm gonna do it." And then obviously he went on to win. But I think I'd practiced so much on Friday night and then raced on Saturday. I got up on Sunday morning for the second round, and I could hardly move my arm. So I mean, I'm not gonna bother. Right. I remember bumping into Scott Dick and him saying to me, "Just call it a daily. You've come back one. Just don't, please don't, because it scares the life out of me watching you." And I went. Anyway, so I carried on, won the next few races, and then had a really big slam at Cycling Park. Hit my head, so yeah, bad concussion. Bad concussion for months. And then I raced the Brits and then fell off. I should never have come back and ride again, and that was it then. That's it.
But then coaching, right?
Yeah, coaching. And both my kids ride.
Yeah. Yes, tell us about your kids racing.
So Harriet rides. Harriet's been riding for Pure Bicycles for 5 or 6 years now. Mm-hmm. So she's now off to university. Mm-hmm. So studying sports psychology.
Yeah, she was telling me that. Yeah.
She's a good kid, really good kid.
She wants to come back to America, right? She was saying.
Yeah. She'll be a brilliant coach. We wouldn't be surprised in 10 years' time, or maybe even less, that she's an elite coach for somebody somewhere.
Yeah.
She's definitely got the right attitude. Definitely. So yeah, she loves BMX. She doesn't like losing, a bit like me, doesn't like losing.
She's got something from you.
So she gets a bit upset. She doesn't do so well. Sadly, she's been injured for the mostly the whole of this year, pretty much. So that's, and then with her exams and then going to uni, so she's missed quite a lot of races. But she's now gone to uni. She's got a strength and conditioning coach. She's got all these different people that are working with her to help her. She's got a scholarship as well to help out. She's already got a job in a gym down there. She's doing so well. And then you've got William, who's 14. He just likes jumping. Mm-hmm. That's what he likes to do. He's not too worried about the racing. I say to him, "Are you nervous?" Nah. Don't worry. But he doesn't. A few weeks ago, we raced at Milton Keynes. He didn't like coming last. He come last, I think, pretty much every race, and he had the right dog. And I said to him, how many gates do you do on a Tuesday night when we go to the track? He went, I do loads. I went, well, hold on a minute. Let's have a look. Let's have a look on our app.
Right. Oh, because you get track. Yeah.
So last week you did 1. Week before you did 2. Week before that you didn't do any.
Right.
And then since that, so that was about 5-6 weeks ago. He's been up, and I think the last time we went up there, he did something like 40 gates in one evening. But now, he won a B final, I think, at Peterborough a couple of weeks ago, and he's like, wow, this is good. Yeah. But he doesn't want to ride clips; he wants to ride flats.
It's good.
But he likes jumping. That's his thing.
And you're up at the track coaching and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, help out the track. Royston Club's an amazing club. I think like every BMX club's amazing now. I think when you look at where we've come from, even go back 10 years, and how bad the tracks were, and now we've got every BMX club is like a family, isn't it? You can go anywhere in the world pretty much and turn up, and there'll be someone that'll help you.
Yeah.
We try and encourage our kids, if anyone turns up that's not very good, they've got a crappy old bike, there's no taking the piss. No taking the mick out of them with their rubbish bike. Anyone falls over, falls off, you stop and you help them up.
Yeah. Just
teaching the kids real respect, respect for other racers as well, and and never ever give up. Don't go slamming your bike on the floor. You don't get any of that at our club. So I coach. I've been coaching since 2011. I think we've got about 60 members at the minute.
That's good.
But yeah, it's going well. We've got lights, because we've got floodlights now. We've all paid for. Everyone's been brilliant at the club. Just raising money every year for the new track.
Are you building the new track? Or?
No, so we bought a new track in 2012, 13, a bit of legacy money or whatever it is.
It's always been the same location, right?
Yeah, it's been there 30, I think it's been there, I could say 30 years, but I think it's more than that.
I know, I've been here 20 years ago, maybe more.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. And they're going to, if they listen to this, they're going to tell me off because
we're
having some sort of special evening next week.
Right. You're gonna do your homework,
for 40 years or whatever it is, 30 years or whatever it is. But yeah. So I guess if I come to, I'm 53 now, so I came to Royston and rode in 88. So yeah, it's 40 years old. Track's 40 years old.
Yeah, it's good. There's a lot of tracks in this country that old now, which is good. One thing, let's wrap it up real quick. I just thought about it. You won a MBMXA No.1 as well, right? 1 year, 85, 86. Didn't you do MBMXA 1 year?
I did.
On Scorpion.
Yeah, there was only 5 races, weren't there?
Yeah,
I think I only rode 3 of them, but I think I won 2 and
you won the big Nottingham pro race.
Oh yeah,
like the amateur.
So I won the club championships, didn't I?
Yeah, the club championships. Yeah. Because there's pictures of you in the magazines with that.
Yeah. So
Slough.
So I was racing. I was racing for Slough on, obviously. Probably weren't meant to because I wasn't a member. I remember Slough ringing me up and one of the members and saying, or the chairman saying, would you like to come and race up at the club champs? And I went, well, okay. Oh yeah, by the way, do you mind going in the 16 plus? And I was only 15 at the time. I went, yeah, go in the 15. I don't mind. And so I won. Long short of it,
did you make money?
150 quid.
Oh, good money then.
And the club gave it to me.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And there's a picture of a big trophy in one of the magazines. Yeah, like a big cup.
I mean, it was a massive race.
Yeah. Well, that's the same day as the Skoda, right? Was it the Skoda race the same?
I don't know.
Weekend? I think it might have been.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it Nottingham.
But it was a big race.
Yeah.
Loads of people, loads of races.
Yeah, good stuff.
Probably even 1,000 riders, maybe. I can't remember. I remember there being even. Was there apes? There could have been apes. Probably quarters.
Club championships in MBMXA was always big.
Yeah.
Let's say the Nottingham Stadium was
dodgy track. But...
It was a boring track.
It was, wasn't it?
It was one of my local tracks, so I would race there a lot. But it was plain and boring. But always big races there, So
yeah, good times.
Let's we're gonna go ride. But before we do that, any last words or anything? I heard there's going to be a new 56 plus in England.
It's 55, isn't it? 55 plus.
Any thoughts of that?
No. Yeah, I think if it's got the numbers, you should do it. Yeah. I think if it keeps the older lads wanting to have a ride round, then why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. No, it's cool. Yeah, I think it's good they're doing that. I think they're about to do the same thing in America as well. So
that's cool.
Yeah. Keep the old guys going, right? All right. Last words. Anything else?
Yeah, just say thank you to for this opportunity, I guess, and say thank you to all the people that have picked me up off the track before. there's been a few. Yeah. Just a thank you to them for keeping me going, and BMX it's been even though I was out of it for 14 years, I'm probably never going to be out of it again now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's great. So track's so close up here as well, so...
Yeah. I just love the adrenaline as well, right? I mean, obviously I don't get to ride anymore. I do have a jump bike. I do ride that with William, but I still go at the pump tracks and love going around the pump tracks.
Yeah, we rode in the summer, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like that. Well, you still look young, still look in shape. Still got your hair?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks, Lee.
Yeah, nice one.
Cheers, everybody. See ya.
Bye.